Welcome back to Specimen the Sociologist. This is your host, Jasmine Reichman. Now, if you're new here, I tend to tell people that my name, Jasmine, rhymes with specimen, but with a J, and I am a budding sociologist who's on one simple mission, and that is to change the world, or perhaps change our world. But anywho, one of the segments that we have here on the show is called the voice memo segment. And this came from a bad habit that I have in my personal life, which is sending lengthy voice memos. Sometimes, perhaps it'll be 30 seconds. Perhaps another day, it might be 30 minutes. Like, you never know what you're going to get with me. But what I love about voice memos is they are like a conversation that you can have on your own time. You know what I mean? Like you kind of just pick up where you drop off with a person. You get to hear their voice, you get to hear the tone in their voice, and it's lovely. Like we're in our mid-20s. Some of us are working 9 to 5. Other of us are figuring life out day by day. So it's really fun just to be able to like meet your people, along the way. But anywho, these voice memo segments may have something to do with sociology, or they may have absolutely nothing to do with sociology. You'll just have to listen and figure it out. Now, earlier in the year, I dropped a voice memo called How to Irish Exit a Conversation. Because if I can be completely honest, I find myself at times like not wanting to engage with another person, not out of disrespect or not out of not being interested in what they're saying. My eyes just simply start to glaze over. And I realize I'm like, I'm not being a good listener right now. So I should probably remove myself from this circumstance. And so I offered a couple of, you know, tidbit advices on how to respectfully and honorably leave a conversation mid sentence. So I wanted to follow up on that voice memo with another voice memo, but this one is called Conversation Enders. Because typically you have conversation starters, whether it's a question or it's an icebreaker, but like something came upon me the other day and I'm like, but what happens if you want to end a conversation? Like, how do you not just Irish exit, but how do you kind of, tell the other person to wrap it up, Because I can say this. There have been plenty of times that I've been chatting with a person and I can just kind of tell that they're not engaged or that they would rather be doing something else. And so I'll just kind of wrap it up myself. So I'm like, I wonder how other people do that in their lives. So, with that being said, I asked some of my friends and some of my coworkers, and I was like, you guys, let's make a naughty and a nice list. And you guys get to tell me, like, what are the nice ways to depart from a conversation? And what are some not so nice ways? And so, the whole reason why we have the list is because I want you to use the nice list when engaging with other people. And I want you to use the naughty list when it comes to checking yourself to say, like, perhaps, you know what? I probably could have left that conversation, a little more gently, like a little more gently. But anywho, we're going to start with the naughty list. So a couple of responses that I got was flat out just bye, like mid sentence, like, all right, bye. And then you just like peel off. Another response was, hey, I gotta head out, which I don't think is naughty, but I don't think it's nice. I think it's just kind of mundane, and that's kind of like a whatever response. Now, the other one on the naughty list is, okay, bye, which is kind of short, and there's like no guarantee that you're going to continue that conversation later in life. So I guess it can be considered quite abrupt. Now, the next one is, hey, I'm busy. So I think that one's a little sharp. Like, imagine someone is trying to, come up to you and chat, and the first thing they get from you is, I'm busy. I'd be like, ooh, then stay busy because I don't want to talk to you in the future because my feelings are hurt, but not really. The next one, which I don't know if this necessarily is naughty, but it is on the naughty list. It was a bless your heart. And this person was Southern, and so I don't know if bless your heart was like, oh, like bless your heart, baby, or like, bless your heart, or if it's like oh, bless your heart, and then they just leave. Like, is this like a Catholic blessing that you're putting upon me? Like, how do I receive this? Do I just like say thank you and like turn away? Like, I don't know. So the last one that I got, which is kind of the funniest one. So I work at Amazon, and Andy Jassy is our CEO. And so I was talking with one of my buddies and I was like, what's a way that like you will like leave a conversation? And they're like, oh, I'll just say that I have a meeting with Andy Jassy, which is honestly probably not real, but it's so like funny that's like, oh, okay, you actually don't have a meeting with Andy Jassy, you just don't want to talk to me. Solid. So that's what is on the naughty, naughty, naughty list. But if we go over to the nice list, this is the one that I want you guys to actually use in real time. The first one is, it was great catching up with you. Even if it wasn't, that's okay. You can lie. Well, don't lie, but you can extend the truth a bit. The next one is, I hope you have a great day. That one, classic, timeless, 10 out of 10, would recommend. The next one is to make an honorable excuse. Whether it's saying, hey, I gotta go use the washroom. Oh, I need to call my mom back. Or hey, I actually have to get going with some work. And that actually, this is the one that I've been using a lot recently. Just a lot of just like when I find myself like, okay, like time to wrap up the conversation, I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna head on out now and I'm gonna like peel off. Love the peeling off. They're like, who says peel off? I'm like, I do. But anyways, those are like some honorable ways to make a quick excuse or a sweet escape, as Gwen Stefani would say. The next one on the nice list is see you later. And the one that I got recently, which I actually kind of loved, I was talking with this person, and you can just kind of tell when the conversation's kind of like dwindling down. He looked at me and he said, thank you. And he like kind of like did a little bow and then he walked away. And I was like, was he saying thank you for our time spent together? Was he saying thank you for our conversation? Like, it was just like, I was like, oh, you're welcome. But I should be the one saying thank you because that's such an honorable departure. But anywho, last but not least on the nice list, this is what one of my colleagues gave me. I don't know if I really enjoy it. I don't know. It's the Midwestern goodbye, which apparently is when you have a conversation or you're at a social event, then you say goodbye, but the conversation continues afterwards, just close to the door, like a foot in the driveway, or like maybe like half a bum cheek in the car. Like it's the conversation that never really ends. So I don't really consider it a conversation ender. But anyways, that could be like your nice way of saying that you're starting to wrap it up, even though you're gonna take another 20 minutes to wrap it up. And I know they call it a Midwestern goodbye, but I find that to be quite prominent in the Black community, aka my community. But anywho, hopefully this spontaneous voice memo about how to end conversations can empower you in the year 2025 to not waste your time and to end conversations when they organically are coming to an end. And if you are someone who likes to yip and you like to yap, take this for yourself and take some social cues. All right. But, anyways, speaking of social cues, I'll release some Blue's Clues. Now, we talked about different ways to leave a conversation, but some other things that you can kind of be privy to would be the tone. How is a person engaging with you? Are they less enthusiastic? Are they kind of slowing down? If they are, that either means they're comfortable having a conversation with you or they want to do something else. So just be aware. Just be aware. The other one would be body language. I cannot emphasize this more. Body language is powerful. It is powerful, whether it is eye contact, whether a person has their arms crossed or not, whether they are facing you or facing a different direction, whether they are like, even if you're having a conversation, like a playful tap on the shoulder or whatever it may be, body language is probably the number one indicator to know if a person is engaged in a conversation or if it's just naturally coming to an end. Like recently I was with a friend of mine and I knew that they had like a busy schedule after we were done hanging out. And you could just tell they were like frequently checking their phone and just kind of like thought I was were going left and going right. I'm like, oh darling, you just gotta go on your way, honey. Just go on your way because you're not present right now. So Again, body language and tone are two great little quote unquote blues clues that you can use to kind of figure out if the person really wants to engage with you or if they don't. Or they engage the conversation. How about that? So that is about it. So why have conversation starters when you can have conversation enders? And speaking of enders, don't forget to check out my old podcast called How to Irish Exit a Conversation. That one will definitely help you in social events and environments where perhaps you are going to be in the same room as a person, but you just want to like end the conversation with that person. So, anyways, I love you. I adore you guys. As always, have a powerful day.